The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the country. It's Mark from SolidCAM. We'll be starting our 30-minute free training session for today, the last day of the week. Everybody's happy about that. And one other person happy about that is Kevin Rankel. Hey, Kevin.
Oh, you know it there. Hey, guys, how's it going?
Today, I thought we would cover something that is another product of ours that doesn't get talked about a lot unless customers specifically ask for it, and that is the shop floor editor. And this version of our software actually addresses a specific need on the shop floor, thus the name. And you're looking at my screen right now, and this is not a mistake. This is not my bad install coming into play again like we saw all week. This is actually what shop floor editor would look like. This is essentially, it is still SolidCAM minus our integration to SolidWorks. It looks like this. It's just the left menu that you usually see in your window as a standalone. And what you can do with the shop floor editor is you can open up any pre-existing SolidCAM part file, and you can modify feeds and speeds, you can modify step overs, anything related to the operation minus choosing new geometry or reselecting new geometry or modifying it in the geometry window. So let's open up a part file that we've been looking at recently. You could just right click on here, go to open, and I'm just gonna open up our old buddy here, the HSM toolpad.
Now, I think one thing to kind of remember is with the SolidCAM shop floor editor, you do not need SolidWorks. And this can be loaded on a fairly low performance computer. So I'm just going to use myself as an example. We ran shop floor editor. By each one of our machines, we had a computer set up, and the shop floor editor was there, so the setup guy or the machinist could open it up just like what you're seeing on Mark's computer here on, like I said, a very low grade computer, and we could modify, do whatever that Mark's going to talk about right here. So
yeah. And the situation that Kevin just described is exactly what the shop floor editor is for. You've got a low-grade computer, maybe like an older computer that's been discontinued from the office, now given to the guys on the shop floor because it just needs to do this next to the machine. So this is literally the shop floor version of SolidCAM. And it's the whole idea of, rather than the operator or whoever's doing the stuff on the shop floor coming back to the office and requesting a change of feeds and speeds or a tool selection, whatever, instead of walking back and forth, this is something that allows you to make those changes right on the shop floor. And we've all been in that situation where the programmer, he's not paying attention to what he's doing, he probably chose the wrong tool, or the feeds and speeds are incorrect. And rather than going all the way back to make that change, the operator on the machine can just go to his low-grade computer, like Kevin said, make the change, recalculate, repost the code.
And the nice thing too is any changes that Mark makes to, or your guy down on the shop floor, any changes that he makes to this program will update the original program. So maybe next time that Mark goes to program it, everything will already be updated from the shop floor.
Absolutely.
And
yeah.
We do have
one system.
A question with the price difference. Now, since we are on YouTube here, the price is different worldwide. The price is very, very cheap. But Brian, if you want, shoot me an email or shoot your account manager email, and I will get that price over to you right away. Or if anybody in here wants a price, just please send me an email or Mark an email or your account manager.
Yeah, especially when it comes to pricing. Pricing is the domain of the sales guys. So even, I mean, this is going to be on YouTube, like Kevin said. So even if you are an international customer of SolidCAM, contact your local reseller and you can get pricing on the shop floor editor. Let's see. Yes. So yes, Brian. The point is that it is much. It's less than the regular price of SolidCAM only because this is a lesser version. It does most of the same stuff, but on the shop floor, it doesn't have the integration. So yes, it would be a lower price than regular SolidCAM, but obviously we can't really quote what that price is. So shop floor editor itself, you can see that I've loaded up my part file. It has all the operations there. I can actually open up each one of these and get to the operation manager, like so. And you can go through. Now I can't obviously change the geometry. I can't even really add a working area because that's going to be working with geometry, but I can go to my tool I can do my, let me just select another tool here completely. I can get to my tool table. I can get to my global libraries. I can do all the stuff I normally would do when I'm programming my part, again, except choosing geometries. Inside your level section, you can see that the buttons are grayed out for choosing upper level, lower level, because again, that would reference geometry, but you can type in numbers here. You can put a delta in there. You can tell it to relate to the top and the bottom stock definition. In terms of machining, you have access to your modified cutting conditions, your machining level, technology. You can change your offsets. It's essentially the best way to think of this is it's everything except for the geometry. It's everything in this window that you can modify. I could even do, if I really wanted to, probably bottom right corner here, if I wanted to save and copy, and if I wanted to add another toolpath, I could do that. If I wanted to right click and add operation, I have access to all my operations. It's literally still SolidCAM doing the exact same thing that you probably would want to do on the shop floor, minus choosing those geometries. Even so, even though you don't have access to some of the geometries inside SolidWorks, all that means is you don't have the host CAD simulation, but you do have your regular Solid Verify. So if I click on Simulate, and we'll go to Solid Verify, you can see in my simulation window here, it's a little different. It collapses it into one window, but everything is still here. The only thing that I don't have access to is host CAD. But if we take a look at my Solid Verify,
this will also work with the SolidCAM beta simulator also.
Yes, because that is its own standalone version of a simulation as well. I guess the only thing you wouldn't get with the beta simulator is when you can overlay it on top, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but the floating window and all that, you still get that.
Yeah, and this is really nice too, because I'm just kind of remembering back when I was at my old shop running this. You know, you forget maybe to turn on the coolant option, or you know, maybe as it comes through, well, instead of using flood coolant, maybe I wanted to use through tool coolant on this different drill bit and stuff like that. So definitely a real nice tool, and like, I mean, with the price of everything, it's extremely affordable. So, you know, you guys have a high-end package. You're just paying a very, very, very small price to have this additional option turned on there. And even with the updated changes, you can regenerate the G code as well. So that's an option too. So like Mark is saying here, this is really everything at its fingertips.
Yep, absolutely. Now to answer Brian's question, machine simulator, does it work in this? I believe it does, right, Kevin? Because that's also its own standalone representation.
Yep. So the machine sim would work, but you guys would have to. Sorry, I'm getting a call. You guys would have to have machine sim turned on. So by meaning that is, so if you guys are running 5-axis right now, that comes with machine sim. If we added a seat of shop floor editor, that would also include that machine sim module as well.
Okay, so what you're basically saying is they would need to have the machine sim module in addition to the shop floor module. Yes. Okay. So whatever you have access to as part of your license, part of your modules, you still have access to as part of shop floor editor.
So I guess what I'm getting at is, let's say I'm going to pick on Brad here, or is Brad even in here? Can I even pick on him?
Yep, Brad's here.
Okay. So if Brad just has 3D Pro, but he does not have machine sim, he would go open up his shop floor editor. He would not be able to use machine sim there. Like I said, you'd have to buy that module for your main seat for it to work on your shop floor editor seat. As well as setups too. The nice thing with, you can change up the setups that are in here that are fully open for you. Maybe you want to move around your vices a little bit. Like I said, the sky's the limit on what you guys can do in here. Trying to think what else we used to change up in here. Usually it's more the feeds and speeds. Get down on the machine, it's like, oh wow, what was Mark thinking? This thing was flying through here.
I've heard that before. No, it's a really good option. As soon as we introduced it, I didn't hear anybody actually say that no one's going to use this, because this is definitely something that would be highly useful to pretty much every shop I've been in, because there's, well, not because someone says, what is Mark thinking, but because it's usually that helpful that you don't know what, maybe say the material is a little harder or a little softer than you imagine, because even though we plug in things like ultimate tensile strength for our eye machining, sometimes you have to regulate that machining level or change your material definition to that machinability factor that we once talked about. So that sort of thing would come into play as well. You can actually come in to your, let me just close out of this.
You may want to close out of your machine.
So cancel that too, yeah. So double click, and we have access to this window as well. So we can actually go in there to our eye machining database. And I mentioned before the machinability factor for our material. Let me just find that material. Let's say we just do this aluminum here. And in the machinability factor, if you remember from a previous SolidCAM live class, I talked about how you would program it here, and then when you run it and you notice that the horsepower of the motor is a little higher or a little lower when you're cutting that material with that same toolpath. You can take those numbers, calculate the machinability factor, come in here and make that change. Well, that's the kind of thing that would be an interplay between the shop floor and the office. With the shop floor editor, the programmer, or not the programmer, but the operator on the shop floor can actually make that change live, save the change, recalculate the toolpath, and now he has eye machining feeds and speeds more appropriate for that material definition. Or in the case of, let's say, I've had this situation as well, where I wasn't there that day. I was on vacation, or I was sick, or maybe I couldn't get to it, and the guys on the shop floor were waiting for a new file to be generated, or even an old file to be changed for a new project completely. Maybe it's different material or something like that. This also allows them to kind of go and do their own programming as well. They don't need to have the full version to make the change they're looking for. In this case, let's say with all these eye machinings and all these HSR toolpaths I have, maybe they just need to change it for the new material. So like Kevin said, this is excellent for changes of feeds and speeds. And you know, with our eye machining, the change of feeds and speeds is more related to the machine and the material. So rather than putting this on my my Haas SS machine, machining, in this case, cast iron, maybe that week we had to make this out of aluminum and we had to put it on the other machine. Maybe that's the Mazak on the other side of the shop. You come in here, you change your definitions, resynchronize, recalculate, and now you can actually even save it as a different file. You can go save as and do the same sort of thing as save as, rename it, and it's almost like they took over some of the programming. And again, it's like Kevin mentioned before, this is all being saved to the same location. It's all part of the same system. So any changes you make here or any saves you make here will be saved into the overall system. So eventually the programmer can retain that file and save it depending on whatever they want to do with it. But the operators on the floor have a certain level of control just by having this copy of Shop Floor Editor.
Yeah, and to go ahead and double click where it says CAM part to get back to the where the coordinate system and stuff are. Another nice feature is, you know, Brad thought he was going to machine this on the Haas. Well, Joe got down on the shop floor and no, I'd rather run that on the different machine. So you can go in here and switch out machines as well. So different post processors also.
Yep.
As well as switch out your stock. If your stock size, if you modeled it with the model box, we can come in here. So this one wasn't modeled with the model box, but we can actually come in here and change. All right, instead of having an additional 100 thou on there, they cut it a little bit shorter. So I'm going to shorten that up to 50 thou for saw cut instead of 100 thou for saw cut. So a lot of stuff that you guys can do in here, which is, I don't know, you can probably hear the excitement, but it's really cool to use and really helpful to have. Like I said, not having to carry around your big monster computer down to the shop floor is nice. Or, if you're especially running a desktop, this can just be run off a very small, easy to use computer.
Yep, absolutely. And this also comes in handy for a lot of larger companies where the programming department is its own department on the other side of the building. So this could just save the walk. Although being a programmer myself, some days we probably need that walk. Spend all day in front of the computer. Probably a good idea to have a walk every once in a while. But this would save the walk of the operators, stopping machining, stopping the thing just to come and make a change to get that change. But it's a really good option. It's limited in that you can't choose some of the geometries, but a lot of the stuff you're going to change on the fly on the shop floor doesn't even need that geometry. So that's one benefit of it. In addition to the fact that you can still actually do simulations. That's pretty good in itself. Because normally when you make those hand edits, you don't get to see the results of that. But when you make that change and you want to see if, let's say you've added a proper clearance to the holder or a fixture collision detection clearance, and you want to see actually what effect that takes inside, let's say, Solid Verify, you have the ability to do that on your low-grade computer.
Absolutely.
And just to cap it off, this is another module. You should contact your local salesperson. If you're in North America, just contact one of your direct sales people from SolidCAM, and they can quote you on this as an additional module. So any questions on this? Any questions on anything we've done through the week? The chat section, you can plug in any of your questions, topics, anything you'd like to get covered today.
I do got one, as long as people are thinking of questions right now, is the...
Well, the question was for the people, Kevin, not you. But yes, Kevin, what questions do you have?
There are two of our customers in SolidCAM for the North America edition, and they have started up a SolidCAM Facebook group for just North America. So if you guys would like, can you bring that up on yours, Mark?
Yep.
I think I sent it to you in the email.
I think I already signed up too, so let me just see if I was actually accepted.
It's not one that we control at all. It is, like I said, it's two of our really good customers that have started this group, just kind of a place to come and collab, I think you would say, ask questions, see if there's any ideas on how to machine parts, stuff like that. If you guys are on Facebook, definitely come check it out. I just got notified of it today, so I think they started it today or yesterday, but kind of a, like I said, it's Eric and Matt. You can kind of see their names right there. Two great guys that have started it. So, and we'll probably be posting videos on here, our SolidCAM live videos as well. I think Mark, you posted on the other SolidCAM Facebook.
Yeah, I normally post on the on this global one, which the Eric and Matt I think are also part of. But yeah, so you can see various postings there. Any one of the new videos, we've actually loaded 3 new videos this week. Envelope versus section in your turning. Last SolidCAM live class where we talked about translated surfaces, and this one defining a solid boring bar for turning. I think that was a really popular request as well.
Yep.
And then we go through these. I usually go through these and I actually answer questions as best I can whenever they pop up. So I'll be adding my usual round table of Facebook pages I go to answer questions. I'll be going to that SolidCAM North America one as well now.
As well as Mark just did an entire series as soon as we get done with this class of all the different options for the HSM bounding box, because there is quite a few, or constraint boundary, sorry, quite a few in there. And maybe I'll let you kind of.
Yeah, so basically the next playlist that will be loaded onto our YouTube channel is the HSR and HSM, because they share the same functionality, constraint boundaries definition window. So created automatically, I've made a video for each one of these. Created manually, I made a video for each one of these as well.
Yep.
They're only about maybe a minute or two each, because basically how they work is very simple, but we made a playlist so that you can actually go through them and you can learn a little bit how each one of those works. So look forward to that once Kevin gets busy.
It's been a busy day.
Yep. So we got about 10 minutes left. Any questions that have come up the last 5 minutes? It is Friday, so what we'll do is once we end this class, remember that this continues for the end of the month. So until I guess January 30th, I guess technically would be the end of the month, but I think we might even actually go that full week. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we have that set up to, but we will continue this until the end of the month. So if you don't get your questions asked today or in the past, just send us the questions via an email. Kevin's going to put my email in the chat section. And any questions, any topics, any parts you'd like to share with us, share to the world, basically, because of YouTube, we can use in the SolidCAM live class. We'll continue this every day until 2 p.m. Unless there's a decline in attendance, I guess, but everyone's pretty much coming in every day. We appreciate that greatly. It really shows how well this is being received. I know I like doing it. Kevin likes doing it. We like the views we get on YouTube as well. So if you didn't get a chance, every day we do this, but if you didn't get a chance to attend one class, always remember this gets recorded and loaded to YouTube as well. So you can always catch up on what we talked about. There's a question there. So Brian, January 30th, 2021.
Brian, we're struggling a little bit to come up with ideas for the SolidCAM Live with all the stuff coverage. So I don't know if we can keep continuing to 2021.
Yeah. So I mean, in 2021, you'll probably attend a KevCam class where he's talking about what's new in 2021. And SolidCAM Live, I haven't done what's new because I'm with. Oh, I'll leave that.
I guess you said January.
January. I said January. Wow. Okay. Well, you never know. No, June. I'm looking at my calendar, and I don't know why I said January, but I'm looking at June. June 30th of this year is the end of. I imagine is the end of this, but yeah, I mean, you never know. It could go to January 30th as well. But yeah, this is what we'll be doing every day at 2 p.m. Eastern time. If you have any questions, comments, you can use the email to send us your topics, questions, parts, whatever it is. Even comments as well. If there's something about what we're doing that you'd like to see done a little better, if maybe, I don't know, you want me to talk into my mic a little better, whatever it is. You don't like my Canadian accent, whatever it is. We'll receive those comments as well. But in addition to that, you can also use that email or Kevin's email to let us know if there's anyone that's interested in SolidCAM. So send us their contact info or give our contact info to them. And if they go into a demonstration of the software, then you can get a $100 gift card just for letting us know or letting them know about us. If it goes to sale, then you get a 20% cut of that sale. So depending on what they buy, you can get a good chunk of money just for letting us know or putting us in contact with someone you know that could benefit from using SolidCAM.
I think for Monday, Mark and I haven't talked about this, but I think Monday we should be covering levels, because we did get a question from a customer, kind of levels and all the different aspects. And inside the coordinate system, you have rotary, you got planar, you have all these different levels of what does everything mean in there. And I think it'd be a good class to kind of show everybody what all those, where those numbers are being pulled from, why they're in there, why some shouldn't be in there. But I think we'll cover that on Monday.
Yeah, we'll get Kevin in trouble for saying why it shouldn't be in there. But
yeah.
But yeah, definitely. That is a good example of a question that has been sent to us that gets into the list of questions we'll cover. And then when we get to it, we cover it in the class. So that's definitely what we'll be doing on Monday. But in the meantime, if you have any other questions, of course, like I said, use the email. And the main tech line as well. You can always call us with your quick questions. You don't always have to wait for a training session or a KevCam or a SolidCAM Live. We're always available through the phone line, through the chat, and through the ticket system to get help as well. So this is just a daily thing that we're doing, but definitely your maintenance, your subscription covers main tech support every day. Just give us a call if you need any help with either post support or general tech support. But if anyone has any other questions while I'm talking, just put the questions in there. We can cover it right now. If not, then what we could do is we can end today's session. I would say everybody stay safe, keep your family safe, stay busy, stay sane. We will talk to you guys on Monday.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone.